and just won every single major as well, 9 majors in all. He joins us now on the Michael Kay Show. Gary, it's Michael Kay and Don LaGreca. How you doing?
Fine, Michael and Dollar. Nice to talk to you. I'm great that you're giving all this great coverage for this wonderful tournament.
Now, let me start there. Why is this so special, Gary? What makes this tournament so awesome?
Well, it just gets better every year, and you had this great man, President Eisenhower, who was obviously part of the tournament. You had Bobby Jones, the great gentleman of golf that raised the bar across the world. Clifford Roberts, the great disciplinarian, which is dying in the world today, running this tournament. And the beauty of it, every time I drive through Magnolia Drive, I get out of the car and I walk, and I say a little prayer of thanks to won it 3 times, second 3 times, most number of times, most number of cuts. So you've got to be grateful. And then the entire world is here under that oak tree, probably 30 to 40 different nations all getting together, gathering, discussing the game, doing deals. It's just a paradise. And it just gets better and better. Of course, they're very lucky. They play it in the same place every year, so they know what to cater for. And then you have a very, very good chairman, better than his predecessor, who was reluctant to change. Winston Churchill said, change is the price of survival. This man has admitted ladies into the club, which Tiger Woods and I were the only 2 that endorsed. The others said nothing. And he's had a junior tournament in China, which I attended for him. And he's also had a junior tournament this year. So it goes from strength to strength.
You mentioned Eisenhower. He had a tree named after him on that course that got wiped out by weather. So how does that change play?
Well, obviously, as you heard, I have the utmost respect for a great man. But have designed 300 golf courses around the world, and I'm vehemently against trees on the fairway. They usually cut it down when the president of the club hits against it. But I think it's a better hole as it is now, because the green was never designed for a long shot into the green. It was always designed for, between a 7 and a 9 iron. And if you watch today, I've just been sitting there watching with some of our guests, they hit beautiful shots into the green, and it got on the edge of the green, trickled off, went to the back, trickled down 20 yards back. So the green is not designed for a long, long shot in, and so I'm pleased the tree, now that its nature has taken care of it. I hope they don't replace it, but that's a debatable issue amongst their board at the moment.
Now, one of the great debates in golf, and it's the numbers are not going to move this weekend, Gary, is whether Tiger is going to catch Jack Nicklaus for most majors. Do you think he could do it now with the back surgery? And he certainly is not the same player that he once was. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, you've got to understand that Tiger is the most talented man that ever played golf. I honestly mean this, and, we need a champion that gets better TV ratings. Ticket prices are higher. I don't have to go and elaborate. Mm-hmm. But, when he won the U.S. Open by 15 shots, and I know if doesn't mean anything in history, but if Tiger Woods had never had another lesson in his life, stayed with what he had, he would have won 24 majors, maybe 30, I don't know how many, because he's winning 1 out of every 3 or 4 tournaments. He goes and changes from perfection. You can't improve on perfection, not that I know of. And he's struggled. He's really struggled. But he's so good that he hasn't won a major in 6 years. He hasn't put his A game up, and he still wins, and he's still number 1 in the world. So here's my answer. I wouldn't be surprised if he never wins another major, and I also wouldn't be surprised if he wins 5. So I suppose that's a diplomatic answer, but that's the best I can do.
Now, he has not won this tournament since 2005, and yet with him not playing, the constant phrase I hear is how wide open it is. Is the mere presence gone give some of these guys more confidence, the intimidation factor being gone from having Tiger Woods just playing against them?
Well, there's no question. I mean, he intimidated them to the utmost degree when he was at his best. And now, obviously, they're not scared of him because they're seeing he's not playing like he used to. And so, obviously, it's a natural thing it's just automatic and natural. But, he's doing some things, in my humble opinion. He's doing several things wrong. in my humble opinion, in his attitude, there's nobody more focused than him. And there's also some things he's doing wrong in his golf swing, in my humble opinion. Now, don't ask me what they are, because I wouldn't like to be precocious and start saying what he should be doing wrong. But I see these things. But in the meantime, golf is so wonderful. You can change within a minute and suddenly be doing everything well. Just a matter of putting your finger on whatever the problem is. And I wouldn't worry about the difference in time. I won the Masters the second time in 74, and then the third time I won it was in 78. 14 years difference. The man is still a young man. He's still terribly fit. I mean, don't underwrite this man.
We're talking with Gary Player, 3-time Masters champion, 9 career major championships. You said something before, Gary, that kind of perked up my ears, and I just want to follow up on it. You said that Tiger changed, and he tried to change perfection. Now, not many people could ask Tiger why you do something, because you're very private and guarded, but Gary Player certainly has the gravitas to do that. Have you ever spoken to him and said, why did you change? You didn't need to change.
No, he is very private, and I've got to respect that. You know, one thing that you learned in South Africa when you grow up in a land of apartheid, you've got to have respect for people, you've got to have respect for their opinions and their cultures and their religions. And so I don't volunteer suggestions, which he wouldn't do, but if he ever did ask me, I'd be only too pleased to give him my opinion. And I know in my heart, if I could spend half an hour with Tiger Woods, I have no doubt, and I hope you don't think I'm being boastful, I have no doubt with the knowledge that I have, and I've hit more balls than any human being that's ever lived. And I still have won 165 tournaments, so you don't do that without lots of experience. And I see things that concern me, and I know I could get him to win major championships. I really know in my heart. But that's just an if, so we won't be worried about it.